here. Teams touching down Sunday in New Orleans. There you see Nick Sirianni, always closely flanked by Big Dom as the Birds get ready for the big game. The Chiefs also in the houses. The spectacle is underway in the game inside a week. We now have the pleasure of welcoming in a Super Bowl champion, 2017 with the Birds, an NFL veteran here to give us his unique perspective on this game. Rodney McLeod, great to be with you.
Hey, pleasure is all mine.
I can't wait to break this down with you because, again, unique in the sense that you have played both of these teams this year and had to solve the riddle that is. Let's start on the Eagles side of this thing because your Browns held Saquon Barkley to a season-low 47 yards. First, how? And second, how does Kansas City come at this from a game plan standpoint? There's always going to be a wrinkle. How do you slow Saquon?
Yeah. So for us, kill the head, the body will follow, right? We know that saying. The Eagles' run game, it's their head. It is everything for them. It's their livelihood. It allows them to stay on schedule. Without it, they're ordinary offense. For us, the second thing that we did was we forced Jayden to throw the ball outside, low percentage throws. And then lastly, it came down to creating third and long situations to give your pass rush and blitz opportunities. Throughout that game, first, second down, we had to stay truly committed to the run, constructing a five-man front, allowing bigger bodies to be able to go against that massive offensive line that the Eagles have. And so that is why we had so much success having responsibilities in the zone read, knowing exactly who's responsible for Saquon and who's responsible for Jaylen. Whether it's your defensive end, it's a linebacker, or it's your safety in the middle of the field. If I'm Kansas City, I have to stay true to protecting the run, eliminating explosives, and being able to create more opportunities to be able to have those exotic blitzes, to be able to confuse Jaylen, and hopefully it turns into more turnovers.
Total sum of the parts, you hope that it can be enough. Assignment, alignment, execution, in theory, always great. We have fantastic coaches in this head-to-head, but talk to me about the point of contact with Saquon Barkley. I mean, you could do everything right, but then getting him to the ground, what's required in that effort?
What's required is it's not just one man.
Yeah.
It takes 11 men to the football to be able to bring down Saquon Barkley. He's built, he's constructed to win the one-on-one matchup. So how do you manage that? You have everybody run to the football. And again, you can't be committed for one possession. You can't be committed for one play. You have to do it for 60 minutes, however long it takes, because if you don't, you'll end up like every single team that the Eagles have faced in this playoffs, and they'll end up with the Lombardi Trophy.
It's a great point about the longevity, what he asks you from the opening kick to that final horn, because the home run ability of Saquon Barkley can change a game in a single play. We've seen it so many times before, the runs of 60 yards plus. They'll have to limit that, the Chiefs, if they want to hoist a third consecutive. You also saw the Chiefs. You also limited what they do most. Patrick Mahomes' passer rating, the second lowest of the season. I'm sure you take great pride in that one, but what did you show Pat that maybe made things difficult on that day?
We showed him man-to-man. That was our objective. We felt better about our personnel than them. We thought our advantage existed up front. So how do you allow time for your pass rushers? You have to play tight coverage, create minimal space. The biggest difference with this Kansas City offense that you see today is there are no deep threats. They're a very short, intermediate, focused team. So that, again, in this cheetah era that they had, you would be very hesitant to run man-to-man.
Deeper than the deepest.
More zone focused. Yeah. But now it allows teams to feel more comfortable about playing up close and personal. We know we respect DeAndre Hopkins, but he's more of a possession receiver. We highly respect Travis Kelce, who's a Hall of Famer, but his speed has diminished. He's no longer able to create those vertical opportunities for him. So how's he effective in the game? Zone. So combat that against their weakness, which is their offensive line. Allow your defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett and your other defensive rushers to take advantage of a weakness in Kansas City and be able to exploit them.
That tackle position has gotten stronger over these latter weeks, and it is that rising tide expectation. The Chiefs, they expect to be in this game. They expect to perform in it. We've seen it so many times before. Let's talk about that offense relative to what they'll see on Super Bowl Sunday. zone predominant in the Philadelphia Eagles. Those two things, they might mix like water and oil. If you are the Eagles, how much of a man wrinkle are you going to install over this 2 weeks? How often are you going to give Patrick Mahomes that look, or do you stay true to that green and run what you run?
Yeah, if I'm the Eagles defense, I have to go all in on man. I'm looking into the files to see what has worked.
Yeah.
I just gave you the formula. I just gave you the formula. But honestly, I'm very interested to see how Vic Fangio constructs his defense. You know, they're predominantly zone. They like to prevent the big play. The Chiefs, they're searching for the big play, but they haven't had many this year. So this is where Travis Kelce is most effective. If you saw last week, another familiar tight end in this league who's had a lot of success, Zach Ertz. I think he went about 11 receptions for 106 yards. Travis Kelce is just as dominant or better. He can do the same. I believe Kansas City is comfortable with teams that play zone and comfortable with the short intermediate game. You have to flip the switch on them. You have to play man. You have to get comfortable being up close and personal, which is going to be a great test for an Eagles defense who doesn't often play man.
You said it at the top. Our personnel is better than your personnel, and perhaps a slight personnel advantage here to the Philadelphia Eagles. Use it. Play some man, because the rushing attack by the Chiefs also a little bit more pedestrian than the last two that we've seen hoist the Lombardi. Respect to Isaiah Pacheco, who knows nothing else than winning Super Bowls in his young career. We'll see if it's a third for him as well. Going focused here on the Eagles, you have that reference point of 2017 and such a moment and such an experience that I'm sure you can call upon it when you close your eyes right now. When you look at the personnel of that group and the current personnel of the Philadelphia Eagles, how do those two things compare? Do you give an edge one way or the other there?
I got to get an edge to 2017, very slightly, and that's only because I was there. But no, honestly, if I'm looking at 2017 and the 2024 Eagles, if I'm looking at the offense first, I have to give the edge to the 2024 team, and that's simply because of the quarterback and the running back. In the run game, finished with a minimum of 2 interceptions. Special teams, notch to 2017. The biggest thing for me, if I take a closer look, will come down to the experience in 2 areas. Defensively, you're going against Patrick Mahomes, future Hall of Famer, Andy Reid, one of the better offensive-minded coaches that we've had in NFL history. You have a defensive line that is young, talented, but very emotional. You have a secondary with a cornerback in Mitchell who's played probably one of the best years a rookie could have, and a Cooper DeJean in the nickel position.
Yeah.
But you're going against, again, Travis Kelce, who's seen it all. Patrick Mahomes, who's done the same thing. How are you going to survive in this big game that is full of emotion, chaos, and adversity? How will the Eagles respond?
Full of individual plays as well. When you stack them all up, one team gets it, one team just lets that confetti fall. You were on the right side of it in 2017 and made a play as well. We're going to dust one off for you here.
For a field goal, and they miss. I talk about it all the time. Tackling is huge. It's an underrated skill in